does it? I actually watched
After being
this.
part of the military. The team inspects the floor and finds the enemy for the first time. Andre manages to
I
kill the
watched
first
this.
terrorist
Andre
without
dies
casualties.
first, I think.
The voice tells the players they have completed the level, with all points going to Andre. To enter the next, they must go down the stairs, finding a mechanism that does not allow them to go
I
down
think
any more
Andre
floors
gets
until
shot
they finish
by,
the current level.
well, the
If
terrorists,
they try to go
obviously.
down, they will be
That's who they're
electrocuted
against.
for wiring. The new scenario is similar to the previous one, but with new guns for the players, so Andre teaches the group how to use them. Level 2 involves hiding, dodging, and preparing a counterattack to defeat the terrorists, who possess new weapons as well. After saving Adam from a direct hit, Andre loses his vest, making the best player exposed to any further wounds. Taylor respects the terror of the game's realism. She goes by the username Slayer Girl, but reveals to everyone that she is not who she says she is. Apparently, she replaced the real Slayer Girl, so she doesn't belong there and wants to get out of the game as soon as possible. She is calmed down by Shelly, the other gamer girl, who says that nothing of that is real and it's just a simulation. Despite this, Shelly thinks the gunfire feels accurate when she fights one of the terrorists. This terrorist ends up killed by Carl, having his first victory. But it does not last long as he receives a surprise shot in the back. Carl gives up, asking the NPC to leave him alone, but the enemy shoots him again, almost at point-blank range to knock him to the ground. Before the situation gets worse, Shelly saves Carl, who agonizes on the floor. Carl's response not only ends up being quite exaggerated but also borderline traumatic. The damage received is not only noticeable in the game but in real life, as if a bullet had really hit him. Shelly removes her helmet to make sure everything is okay, and to her surprise, Carl has no apparent damage on the outside. The pain perpetuates until Andre appears and gives him his serum to heal. In the game, the bloody hole and the puddle around Carl are restored immediately, feeling better but still traumatized by the experience. They all take a break and have a meeting to discuss the possibility of everything being part of a reality TV show. Sahid panics and fails to try to take off his suit, which seems to be quite tight and embedded to the body. He theorizes that this is a human test for Andre's out-of-nowhere weapons company. Some people still think it's a sham, and even if it is truthful, they care too much about the prize money to stop playing. The tension against Andre increases, and he chooses to leave after facing heavy accusations, leaving them all to their fate. With his helmet raised up and staying in the plane of the real world, an angry Andre goes to the bathroom, not realizing the game still goes on. He is surprised in front of the mirror by several revived NPCs, and he only has time to lower his helmet before taking a direct hit.
Oh no!
Everyone is alerted that the new level has begun. As soon as everything starts, Edward is shot, falling wounded to the ground. Luckily, he has a serum that uses to heal himself. Taylor tries to get out through the level obstruction, but her plan is frustrated because of the electric wiring. All perform random actions, with Adam throwing a grenade that manages to hit the terrorists, the only successful move of the round. The next scene shows Andre trying to look for help while crawling on the ground, but only feels himself slowly bleeding to death. The voice in the ceiling tells the players they passed level 2, with Adam getting the higher score. That's when they hear Andre's cries for help in the distance. Before being struck down by internal pain, Andre manages to hear a timer counting down. Once the timer ends, it discharges a high voltage current from the helmet into his brain, causing Andre to convulse to death. The others find him lying on the ground, unable to save him and leaving the game with only 7 players. Sahid grabs a fire extinguisher, panicking and sweating, asking for a volunteer to help him remove his helmet. Carl immediately offers to do it, so Sahid ducks and braces for impact. Carl does his best, but nothing happens. The material is too rigid and solid, leaving Sahid beaten. In the virtual reality, the sergeant suddenly appears to beat up Sahid for trying to break the rules, with everyone feeling puzzled. He assures the others that there will be real consequences if they try to get out of the game. Despite their disadvantaged position, they manage to advance through the following levels without losses, learning how to use new weapons and
R.I.P.
guns,
Andre.
facing things like attacking with tactical knives and hand-to-hand combat to avoid gunfire.
I remember watching this. The
During
flipping
one of
end.
levels, Adam and Carl
The end is a
and the
shootout
team uses a
between
couple
the
of serums.
terrorist leader and
After a
whoever's
violent
left, which I
scene,
think
it's
is
already
about
night in
4
the real-life
people.
city,
I think
so
one
the
of them
first
end
group
up
of
getting
players
shot.
tries once again to get out of bed, only in a more desperate way by pushing a cart against the windows, trying to get the attention of someone below. They manage to break the window a little, but just before they can get it, the sergeant attacks again the insurgent Sahid. Only this time the damage ends up being more realistic than usual, and ends up breaking his leg badly in real life. Sahid asks the others to hide him for the following levels and continue by themselves. After a few moments, he dies of blood loss. The new level starts and Marco, the
Sahib's
most
dead
ruthless
as well.
player, falls after a brief encounter with the enemy. Shelly gives Marco her
Why don't
serum
they
to
just
save
shoot
him
the
while
sergeant?
who remained hidden to avoid conflict and damage, realizes that an enemy is behind her, so she decides to counterattack. Amid the whole chaos, Carl talks with Shelly, realizing from her identification that she has no family, and Shelley confirms this by saying that her parents are deceased. Carl also comments on how he is alone as well, with Adam saying that he lives with his grandmother with Alzheimer's, Marco is divorced, and Edward is an only child and an orphan. They deduce that by being illegal, Sahin had no safe place to go either, discovering that they were picked for the game due to their lonely condition and no one will search for them in the worst case scenario. For the next level, they find the sergeant beating and torturing a hostage from the terrorist commando in a different room. The team's new mission is to extract a password